Hey guys, welcome back to the next part of the series. Today we're going to talk about the very technical stuff, but hopefully you guys, or hopefully I will explain myself so that it's easy for everyone to understand. So as you guys know, we just finished doing our UV process here for our element. We have successfully created this element over here, and if we go to, wait, can we go into, there we go. If we go into the edit mode, we can see all of the faces that generate the UVs that we're going to be texturing to. So the thing here is that if we have both sides of the axe, what we would need to do on this UV islands is that we would need to reduce the size of this thing by at least half so that we could fit both sides of the axe in the same map. That's the reason why we're doing mirror UVs, to save ourselves texture space and in that way generate a better resolution for our textures. There are some disadvantages to doing this, of course. For instance, one of them is if we paint something here, it's going to be the exact same thing on the other side. However, especially for weapons, it's very difficult to see both sides of the weapon at the same time. So that's why mirroring works really well for this kind of objects. Now, the thing here is that I need to show you a specific process that we're going to be following to generate the proper bakes. If you remember from the beginning of the baking explanation that I did, we're going to have our high poly. Let me go into paint. There we go. So we're going to go, oh, file. We're going to have our high poly with a lot of detail, and then we're going to have our low poly, right, with less detail. And what's going to happen is at the baking time, this low poly will shoot rays up and down, and it will scan for all of the information that it can find, and it will project that information into our UV map. Then that UV map, or the texture maps that we generate, will be mapped to our objects, and we will be able to see the final display inside the Blender, Unreal, or whatever other software. So in this particular case, I'm going to show you a quick demo on how the process is going to be for the mirroring of UVs. I'm going to select the low handle right here. I'm going to say File, and I'm going to export this as an FBX. Very important, FBX. As you can see, I already have it here right here. It's called handle low. And I did the exact same thing with the handle high. However, if you remember, the handle high is actually both sides of the object. Well, if we go to Substance Painter and we load in this, don't worry, we'll talk about Substance Painter in just a couple of videos. If we load the low poly version, you can see that we got this very nice effect. And we can go to this little croissant thing, which is the baking option, and we can load in the other part of this handle, so the handle high, there we go. And if we do that, as you can see, we're going to get this cage. This cage is the cage that I just drew here in Paint that's going to be shooting the rays to capture all of the information from our high poly. And you can see on the side where we have the low poly, things are looking good. We get a very nice bake of the whole process. Of course, where we don't have any elements, we're not going to be able to get any other bake. So I'm going to set the bakes to 2K and just bake the textures to get a nice result. You can see all of the maps being baked right there, ambient occlusion, normal. We're going to talk about all of this in just a couple of videos, don't worry. But once we have this, if we go here, this is what we're going to be seeing on the game. Look at this. Look at how beautiful this low poly looks now that we've projected all of the amazing sculpting that we did in Chapter 2. So this is what we would be getting. This is the thing. You can see here the UV map. We can press the letter C to switch between the maps, and we can go to the normal map, which is the most important one right now. And you can see how we can get all of this information like projected into the UV map. Now, here inside of Substance, we can actually bring in a version of this element that has both sides. If I go Edit and go Project Configuration, I've exported a mirror version of this handle low mirror A. And if we do Open and we bring it in, as you can see, it's now going to have the detail on both sides of the object. Looking really good, right? Saving ourselves a lot of texture space because this space right here is being projected on both sides. However, we have a problem. If we take a look at the material, we're going to have a horrible seam line going down the middle. See that? And that seam line is very difficult to get rid of because this seam line is being baked into the maps that we created. So what we need to do is, instead of doing the bake on half of the object, we need to do the bake on both sides. I also have this right here, so I'm just going to go to the bakes. As you can see, the bake is working better right now. We bake the selected texture, and that line that we see right there is going to start disappearing. We might still see it slightly in certain areas, but it should be a lot less than what we have right here. So look at that. So that's the trick. The trick to save ourselves a lot of texture space and get higher quality textures on our object will be to mirror the objects here inside of Blender before doing the bakes, okay? So we mirror first. In this case, for instance, this rock handle low, I need to go here and add a mirror modifier and apply this mirror modifier because this is going to be the final effect for my element. This is, of course, after we've done the whole UV process. Some people like to think that you can do it before. No, it's after. So, for instance, let's grab this one. Let's do another mirror right here and apply. Grab this one, do a mirror, and apply. It's very important that we apply the mirror because we don't want to have any missing pieces. So we do the mirror, we apply. We do the mirror, and we apply. Of course, this one, the big axe, we're going to do the mirror, and we apply. There we go. I think that's pretty much it. As you can see, it's not that many pieces. We got a lot of like individual pieces, so it's not that many that we're using. But the ones that we're using are going to save us quite a bit of space because now we have all of these elements right here. If we take a look at the faces, we're duplicating the UVs and saving ourselves quite a bit of space. So that's pretty much it, guys. Again, this is just an overview of why we're doing the things that we're doing in order to generate this very clean result. Later on, we're going to export all of these textures, and I'm going to show you how to connect things so that we can see the displayed textures inside of the engines. But yeah, this is pretty much it. So in the next video, we're going to talk about the final baking preparation. We're going to prepare everything for the bake. We're going to export our things from Blender, and once we have that, we are just going to jump straight into what's the word? We're going to go into, oh my god, into Substance Painter. I'm going to show you all of the things that you need to know about Substance Painter. So yeah, that's it for this one, my friends. I'll see you back on the next one.